All right, so this is number 20, video 20. Um, I I feel like this is super important, and there's a lot of detail to it. I think that's also very informative. That's gonna help a lot of the people who think in extremes. You can see that there's limits. It's an okay, and it's also okay to have limits. It's like ultimate freedom doesn't really exist. The only thing freedom really does for us as humans is we are free to pursue the path that we're made to pursue. That's where the freedom lies. There is no such thing as ultimate freedom, like you can just go be and do everything all at once because you're that awesome. That doesn't exist. Now, obviously some people's legacy path might be a little wider and far ranging, but that still means that their freedom that they're finding has nothing to do with somebody else's legacy path. It has to do with their legacy path. And like I said, some personalities, some situations, some souls of people get an opportunity for an expansive opportunity where other people's might have a very narrow opportunity. Those are all subject to the relationship you have with your creator or with the creator, and it's very individualistic on what that looks like. I say all that to say that once you get outside the parameters of mercy and grace, once you get outside, you're in this area here or this area up here, I call that no man's land. And some people aim for that thinking they can have ultimate freedom. But you're not allowed out there. We're not allowed out there because God hasn't made life out there. There's nothing that you're aiming for that's going to serve any part of you or people you love or friends you love. There's nothing out here at all, zero, that is viable. In other words, viable for life. Viable for life exists right here. It does not exist out here. And so, over time, if you ignore this line and you keep coming out, and you ignore this line and you keep coming out, there may be situations where God pushes you back in. But at some point, you're going to get in the way of the plan, his immutable plan that he sold out to, that only he knows, that only he has endorsed, and that he knows the timing of. There's nothing out there. And so it's no man's land. There's no life out there. So what's going to be happening? Life gets taken away from you in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's ultimate life or maybe the viability of being able to be mobile or free at all. I don't know how it's all going to manifest. I don't want to pretend that, because I'm not saying you're going to absolutely die if you're out here. But if you want to stay outside of no man's land, basically that's where evil lurks. Evil is out there and it wants to destroy all of this. That's the way it works. That's what it's for. To maybe in a cleansing way, there are some things that do need to be cleansed, but I don't feel like it needs to be a human soul. And so my own opinion is aim for the things of life. Don't aim for things outside of life. Aim for things inside of your legacy, not outside of your legacy. Only you know what that is to some degree, but probably people around you can also probably give you some guidance on how to stay within that path if you really want. But if there's a rebellion level within you that wants to push you out here, just know that there's nothing out there that's going to be livable, and it's just no man's land, and you take all the responsibility then on yourself to not listen to all the warnings that probably happened to you before you got there, because you're thinking, maybe that there's some kind of life you're missing by not pursuing it. But if there's no life out there, then that's a wrong thought process. So what I say is, once you start feeling that level of like dead ends and unfulfilling things that happen in your life, that probably means that you're aiming the wrong direction and you need to change your aim. And always aim higher and to the right. Always aim higher. If you're missing on something, don't go backwards and retrace, because you're going forward. Go forward and say, okay, look, I'm not aiming far enough. I'm not aiming high enough. And that I'm going to get there if I'm doing that motion, because that's where life lives. Life lives up there. It doesn't live off to the side. It doesn't live in the reverse. What's the rear view mirror? You know, the rear view mirror is this big, and the front windshield's probably 20 times bigger. So we live in the front windshield looking out. We don't look in the rear view mirror. We don't look off to the side. We don't sit there and drive through the side windows. We drive straight forward. I mean, every time we drive, all the time we drive, we're sitting there focused forward. That's the way you need to do with all your legacy stuff, all your legacy path, all your character development, where you put your worship, where you put your faith, all goes forward. And that's just the way you live. That's the way you live. That's how you make decisions. That's what you do when you got a coin flip, toss up mechanism of your life. That's what you do. I'm going forward, I'm going up. I'm going forward, I'm aiming up. There's no other way that'll get you better life, different life than doing that. That's my 20th video.